Shabbat Shalom. The 60s was a time of causes. Now, the 60s weren't all good and they weren't all bad. There were some great causes. One of them was the civil rights cause. And we're talking about slavery. Now, Moses, oh, by the way, we're going to talk about the stranger or outsider. In Hebrew, it's ger. So when you hear today the word ger, it's referring to that. Now, Moses, God used Moses to deliver the Jewish people from slavery. Martin Luther King, God used as a way in the civil rights movement. So Moses was shepherding the flock in the wilderness, and he saw the burning bush. It was burning, but it was not consumed. And Moses also had a Cushite wife, and his sister Miriam and his brother Aaron was critical of Moses, and God struck her with leprosy. So what do we learn about this? Civil rights are a very serious business. The Torah talks also about civil rights. As it says in Genesis 12:3, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. And ger is related to that, as we will see today. Martin Luther King, he marched with the rabbis. And there were Jews and Christians that were martyrs because of their faith. It says in Leviticus 19:34, love the ger as yourself. And in Deuteronomy 10:19, love the ger, for you were gers in the land of Egypt. Now, the African Americans and the Jewish people, some people think they were at odds, but actually they were brothers. Just as in the human family, we're all brothers. Martin Luther King, he said, referring to people, he talked about black and white, Jew and Gentile, and Protestant and Catholic. So civil rights is a universal principle, as were women's rights, as are the rights of the unborn. And the Native Americans, First Nation peoples, millions were enslaved between the 15th and 19th century, or 18th century. There were martyrs. There were martyrs in different ways. Elijah Lovejoy, this is in the abolitionist movement. Elijah Lovejoy, 1802 to 1837. Crispus Attucks, 1723 to 1770. Many rabbis were martyred, including Rabbi Akiva, one of the most famous rabbis. Then, during the civil rights movement, there were 3 young men who were working in the civil rights movement. 2 of them were African Americans. The other was Jewish, and they were both martyred. Leviticus 24:22. It says that the ger is to have the same standard of justice to the native born and the same Torah in Exodus 12:49. And they also are to celebrate Sukkot. Sukkot, the great festival of tabernacling with God, considered by many to be the most glorious of all the holidays. And the outsider, the ger, are welcome to celebrate Sukkot and to participate, as it says in the Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They're also commanded to rest on Shabbat, which is also a blessing, not just a strict commandment. In Galatians 3:28, there is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is neither male nor female, for you're all one in Messiah, Yeshua. Let's keep going further. In Genesis 1:26, it says, I will make, that man will be created in the image of God. And in 1 Peter 2:17, honor all men. And Martin Luther King, not by color of skin, but by content of character. So the civil rights movement, you could say, started back in the first chapter of Genesis. Now Yeshua, you could say, was a champion of civil rights and also became a great martyr. He fought for the poor, the afflicted. He was a healer. In 1 Corinthians, I'm going to turn. Yet God chose the foolish things of the world, so he might to shame the wise. And God chose the weak things of the world, so he might put to shame the strong. And God chose the lowly and despised things of the world, the things that are as nothing, as he might bring to nothing the things that are, so that no human might boast before God. As it says in Deuteronomy 16:20, justice you must pursue. Justice is so important. It needs to be pursued. It's a never-ending fight until the end of history in heaven. Speak up for those who cannot speak up for themselves. Defend the rights of the afflicted and needy. In Psalm 45:5, in your majesty, ride on victoriously for the cause of truth, humility, and righteousness. And in Judges 5, it says, O my soul, march on with strength. Martin Luther King believed in soul force as opposed to fighting through violence. And Amos 5:24, as Martin Luther King quoted, let justice roll on like waters and righteousness like an everlasting stream. I believe that we are the leaders of the world. In Luke 9:48, The one who is least among you, all of you, is the one who is great. In Isaiah 40, verses 4 and 5. Every valley will be exalted, every mountain and hill brought low. The rough ground shall become level, the rugged places a plain, and the glory of Adonai will be revealed, and all flesh will see it together. Be free from slavery and fight for civil rights. Be free from slavery and practice justice. Be free from slavery and work for the cause of brotherhood. Be free from slavery and love the ger. Be free from slavery and be willing to give your life. Be free from slavery and march on with strength. Be free from slavery and your name will be written in the book of life. In Revelations 7:9, I saw every nation and tribe and people and tongue. And in Revelations 21:4, there will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, because the previous things have passed away. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.